salaries. If you could turn your mobile phones off or put them on silent, that would be very, very nice. It'd be a nice gesture to the speaker. For those who don't know who is TBLI, my wife likes to say we make dreams come true, but we're not in cosmetics. We're a guide for ESG and impact investing, so we educate asset owners and managers about the self-interest, opportunity, and money flows around sustainable investment. We're focused very much on education, so basically sharing, networking, inspiring, with the ultimate goal of mobilizing capital for ESG and impact investing. I want to particularly thank all of the sponsors, speakers, moderators, everyone who helped, who promoted the event. I also want to particularly thank my wife, who's put up with this for 15 years and is still there. And I'm particularly grateful that this is the very first time that I've ever done an event that my mother has been able to show up to. I want to particularly thank also the team, Frank, Stephanie, Libby, Stephen, and Iris. If you don't get a chance, tell them that they did a great job, I will. And particularly our sponsors, Gate and EDN, Mintz Levin, BNP, Halloran, LiquidNet, Roanoke, Green Earth Travel, and the Susquehanna Peace Foundation, which is doing a research project on impact investing, developing world markets, Brazil Plus, and especially USAID. And the booth locations, Iroquois Gate, Stocks, Developing World Markets, and Trilink Global. And particularly our location host, UFT, because they normally do not rent this out to the outsider, certainly not to the financial sector. But they like what we were doing, and I appreciate that very much. They've been a great host. For those of you who are not using our Pathable social networking system, use it. It's a great way of finding everybody and keeping in touch with them the entire year. As soon as you register for the conference, you can use the system. The whole year, you can upload new material as a speaker or as a sponsor to all of those and actually make meetings, and it'll go right to your smartphone. So, having tried to get buy-in from the financial sector, we've encountered significant difficulty. This is one of them.
Okay, go.
I will live each day as if I were the only one that matters.
I will do anything I want to anyone who can stop me.
I will reward each practical living all my fellow man.
Where's someone pulled out the cable? That's interesting. Okay. Sorry about that.
I will live each day as if I were the only one that mattered.
I will do anything I want to anyone who can't stop me.
I will regard each tragedy that befalls my fellow man as an opportunity for personal profit.
I will exploit the weaker and less fortunate. I will remember that war is good for business.
And nice guys finish last.
I will invest with Wormwood Bank.
I will invest with Wormwood Bank.
Wormwood Bank.
Wormwood Bank.
Wormwood Bain, the stock fund for socially irresponsible investors, with performance that outpaces the market year after year. At Wormwood Bain, we invest only in the smartest, meanest, most ruthless businesses in the country. Companies that underpay workers, bust unions, export jobs overseas, use third world child labor, and ignore environmental regulations, because they add more short-term dollars to the bottom line. And in the long run, we're all dead. So if your greed is bigger than your conscience, invest your money with Wormwood Bain.
Market savvy.
Socially irresponsible.
We don't give a shit.
I think they're also hiring for some of you that are looking to change. One of the most difficult things in trying to get the financial sector to embrace ESG and impact is very much how do they look at the world? Do they see it as a risk or an opportunity? And we do not have a level playing field. Products do not reflect their true cost. If you buy a bicycle in my country, there's 21% sales tax. You buy an airplane ticket, there's no sales tax. So it's even hard for the financial sector to compare companies because products do not reflect their true costs. Externalities is a major issue. we have some significant integration challenges. This person, sometimes it's a woman, in every organization there is a person who doesn't want to change anything, is very happy the way things are. Maybe it's you. Convincing this individual is very, very, very hard. And people live in fear of change because they're very comfortable the way things have been going. And they have a very, very limited information. They very much operate in the ghetto. They know if it's not on Bloomberg or Thomson Reuters, they don't know that it exists. And we have various terminology, SRI, ESG, impact investing, social investing, venture philanthropy. We'll cover a lot of those things in the next day and a half. So hopefully that will make it a little bit more clear for you. But we are experiencing a significant paradigm shift towards sustainable investment. We are moving from what was the financial system, which was hunting, slowly to a farming approach, because there's very little left to hunt. We've practically wiped out most of the game, and we have to work to a restoration. When I started, everybody said to me, Robert, this is really interesting, this ESG stuff. Do you have any proof that at worst there's no underperformance? I always used to get this question. And I would send hundreds and hundreds of research papers. And then I had the aha moment and realized this is not about proof. This is about belief. Because I looked at how much research was done on subprime collateralized debt obligation as a risk. I couldn't find very much. How many people read it? Nobody. How much money went into it? Everything. Because they believed it will work. And that's one of the issues at the moment, is that those that continuously need more and more proof, it's not going to happen. They have to shift toward the belief, and that will happen when they see more money flows. This is some figures on what is the main driver. The big macro driver is China's growth and the emerging market growth of 6 to 8% translates. They reached U.S. consumption levels in less than 20 years, 25 years. And at this level of growth and inefficient use of resources, projections are they might need 40 to 60 million barrels of oil a day themselves. Just China, and you look at grain, meat, steel, all the other commodities. You add India and the other 3 billion in the emerging market, you don't have to be a Nobel Prize winner to see that this linear line cannot continue. The only way to keep it going is conflict for resources or the great investment opportunity, which is basically sustainability, which is doing much more with much less. These are some figures of the growth of SR or ESG. In the US, it's about 3.74 trillion. In Europe, it's about 6.76 trillion. I jokingly say it's twice as big because we've been working there for 15 years. 4.2 trillion was put into smart grids, energy efficiency, clean tech, green construction in the last 5 years. We have to move away from this philanthropy model, which is basically taking 100% of your money, investing in any way that generates return, and giving away 5% subsidized by taxpayers. You're not working with the principal, you're only working with the interest. We are trying to convince the financial sector that a much more efficient use of your money is leveraging the 100%, not the 5% of the interest. You play a very, very important role. You make the conference. You are the ones that give the input and are willing to share your knowledge and networks with the others. So I would like you very much to challenge everything that's being said here, be critically polite, but challenge what's being said, because you have to walk away from here with the feeling that you've learned something apart from meeting someone. And to paraphrase Yoda, do or don't do, ambition is not a commitment. These are some of the things that you should discuss. Our investors chatting or doing. Is impact investing the answer? Is it philanthropy? Should finance lead? Proof versus belief, or fuel-free energy system? We're having our call for our next event in Zurich, November 14th and 15th, and the end of May 2014 here in New York again. So if you have any ideas, you'd like to support us to scale this up, please contact Iris, Libby, Frank, or myself. We'll stick quite strictly to the time so we can get through everything. After this, there's a coffee break over there. Our first keynote speaker is an interesting guy, Paul Rose. He's the only guy who swims under Antarctica and then climbs Mount Everest the same day just to warm up for speaking at the TBLI conference. He's like a nuclear power plant, except that he's not as toxic. He has so much energy, so much commitment, and I'm really grateful that he decided to come from the UK to inspire us. So Paul, if you would come up here and tell us, why do you swim under